Hi, welcome to this video update, which is all about our best trading books. I'm going to review one of my particular favourites today, which is called 100 Minds That Made the Markets, and it's by Kenneth L. Fisher. You can get it on Amazon for around $10. Now, in terms of beginners, really enjoy it and you'll learn a lot from it. Experienced traders will as well. Now, what is the book about? It's about the 100 most important figures in terms of the growth of the modern financial system and trading. It covers the period from around 1900 up to the 1970s, and you will learn from some of the greatest traders of all time. Some you may be familiar with already, but I'm sure there'll be many you'll never have heard of. And when I first read the book, I discovered two traders. I'd not heard of them, yet they become heavily influential on me. I'm going to review a few of the traders from the book in a moment. There's a lot of traders in the book. I've just picked out some of my particular favourites. Book is very easy to read. Fisher has a great writing style. It's about 450 pages in total, but I breezed through it. I just really enjoyed it when I read it, and I've read it many times since. I find the book motivational and inspirational as well. Yeah, you can associate the highs and lows of the traders. In terms of what you'll learn from the book, you'll really learn about crowd psychology. Of course, that never changes, and some key traits in terms of the psychology needed to win at Forex trading. Now, in terms of book, I find it really motivational. I think it's just an excellent read, just $10 on Amazon. Right, what I'm going to do is just review a few traders from the book, my particular favourite stories, but there's many more traders in the book. Right, let's go over to the storyboard and just review the traders. Right, just a few of the traders in the book. Like I said, there's many more, just a few of my favourites. Now, in terms of the first trader, Hetty Green, I'd never heard of her before reading the book, but I just find her a fascinating character. When she died in 1916, she was the richest woman in the world with a fortune of 2.8 billion in terms of today's money. Okay. She's on the all-time rich list above Warren Buffett. She's not that far behind Bill Gates. She made her fortune trading and investing before women even had the vote. She was a woman in a man's world. She hardly lost a trade. Phenomenal investor. She was the original value investor. It's worth reading her rules of investing. I've done separate videos on all the traders I'm mentioning here, so you can check them out for more info. But in terms of Hetty Green, what she really illustrates is the biggest advantage of trading. And most traders don't even think about it. It's compound growth. And her view was you focus on the long term, you make your money in a steady fashion, and then it will eventually snowball. And traders are too keen to make money too quickly. It's human nature, I suppose. But if you take a long term view, you will see the advantage of compound growth. And I often do the question to traders: if you had $10,000 and you compounded it 100% per annum for 10 years, how much would you have? Most people get the answer wrong. It's 1.4 million. So you can see how quickly money snowballs. As your money increases, your effort doesn't increase. And I think that's a lesson that most traders could learn. There's a huge amount of lessons from Hetty Green, in my view. She's just an eccentric genius. And I've got two of her autobiographies, which are fascinating. Well worth reading up more on her. Pretty inspirational character. Greatest female trader of all time, and one of the greatest traders of all time. Second one on my list is John Maynard Keynes. Now, I had heard of him because I've got an economics background, but I didn't know he was a trader until I read the book. And he was the original macro trader. He would hunt out opportunities in anything, anywhere in the world and trade. Now, he did actually wipe out his trading account when he first started, like many of the great traders. But over 25 years, he managed to compound 13% per annum. This is in a non-inflation world, okay? Ended up with a fortune of about 20 million, and that wasn't even his day job. Obviously, Maynard Keynes is a giant in terms of economics, saved the world from a global depression, etc. Now, he did actually come up with the concept of the beauty contest in his book, The General Theory of Employment and Interest and Money. Now, I won't go through what the beauty contest is here. You can look it up. But really, the concept was a big influence on George Soros, because George Soros, the theory of reflexivity and feedback loops, which all traders should know about, really was Maynard Keynes's development, or not development. He came up with it first, basically. So George Soros, one of the greatest traders of all time, Maynard Keynes had a huge influence on him. He was a fascinating character as well. He's the exception to the rule that an economist can make money. Most economists are frighteningly wrong. And at the time, there was another great economist around, which is a guy called Irving Fisher. He traded as well. He's seen as a real big figure in economics, huge influence on governments, etc., central banks, taught at Yale for 35 years, very intelligent, but couldn't make any money trading. He traded for much of his adult life, lost money all the time. When he actually died, he was in debt from his trading. So, Keynes the exception to the rule. Jesse Livermore, I'm sure everyone's heard of him. But what traders don't know about is trading. I think there's an acceptance. When you read online about Jesse Livermore, he was the greatest trader ever. He wasn't. Most of his money was actually made by cheating, insider dealing. And also, when he made fortunes, he always lost them, didn't he? He ended up with no money. And after he lost a fortune, he couldn't see any way back. He actually shot himself in the head, committed suicide. He was a manic depressive. He's a great trader to learn from. Anyone should go and read the book Reminiscences of a Stock Operator, which is the story of his life, so to speak, because just learn about all the psychological pitfalls that Jesse Livermore could never overcome. He was really a gambler. There's another guy in the book called William Crapo Durant, and he was like a wheeler dealer in shares. He ended up owning GM. He could have retired several times after making fortunes and lived a comfortable life, but he was just a wild gambler. And again, he died penniless. Now, in terms of the next one on my list, it's William Hamilton. I put the best technical analysis. For me, the best technical theory is Dow theory. And, it's underutilized by traders. They want more fancy theories, but Dow theory is just such a great technical theory. And Hamilton was the one that really made it tradable. He had some fantastic calls, like calling the 29 crash. I consider him one of the greatest technical analysts of all time. There's a couple of traders who developed Dow theory in the book as well, which are Ree and who's the other guy? It's McGee, isn't it? So you can read about them as well. A little story I found fascinating was the one on Edson Gould, the original sentiment trader, and he was the world's most accurate market forecaster, according to Fisher. And I've done a full video on him. His calls were extraordinary. He could call big bull and bear runs. He could get, short-term tops and bottoms. Fantastic sentiment trader. And in terms of a sentiment tool he developed, it's called the Centimeter, which was really effective in terms of the stock market. And it's outlined in Fisher's book, The Wall Street Waltz, I think. But I think the main thing you learn from Gould is just how he was so good at sentiment trading and judging the psychology of crowds. Next two people, two together, Ben Selam-Smith and Arthur Cutten. They were at the same time as Jesse Livermore, but they were both wildly successful in terms of making money. They would very often be against Livermore in the markets, because those days you would try and corner the market with enough money to basically get what you wanted. Livermore very rarely won against Smith or Cutten. They both built big fortunes, and they really illustrate confirmation bias and the dangers of it and overcoming it. We all know that traders run losses, okay, because they want to stick to their opinion. These guys could just turn their opinion around. And a good example was Arthur Cutten. He did a trade, lost 20 million. Okay, and then he immediately thought, actually, you know what, I am the wrong way around. I'll cut my loss, go the other way, got everything back. Traders find it incredibly difficult to get away from their opinion. Once you put an opinion in place, you want to keep it. You don't want to be wrong. But they really show, the art of cut and run. Both fantastic traders and very colourful characters as well. Number 7, the Fishers. The Fishers were 3 brothers. They were from Detroit. They made body parts. They actually made them for GM. They were wildly successful businessmen, decided to get involved in trading, and they lost as soon as they came in. They realised they had no education about trading, didn't know what they should do, so they went away, they got educated, and basically they became the biggest traders on Wall Street in the 20s. And they were some of the richest, or the richest, I think. But no one's ever heard of them. They've forgotten to history. Why? I think they were just too boring. They weren't like really colourful characters. They were kind of humble. They didn't really brag about their wealth or do anything really rash. They were into trading as a business, just like they ran their body parts business. They would have a very clear business model. They just made a huge amount of money. I just like them because they weren't maybe the most academic people, but they were the ones who really cleaned up on Wall Street. And actually, an interesting story about them was that when the 1929 crash came, they did lose some money. And they decided, well, market's going down, we'll just actually take our money out. They had 100 million. They went back to Detroit. They never traded again. They had enough money to live comfortable lives. Just like the Fishers. I think it's a good story. Just like the underdog, being the big winner. Last lessons on prediction from Evangeline Adams, William Gann, and Elliot. In terms of, this is something that never changes about the market, what I would call the far out investment crowd who want to predict, okay? Evangelina Adams used astrology. I know people use astrology today. And she was a frighteningly bad trader. But who actually took her advice and followed her? J.P. Morgan, Schwab, King Edward of England, huge amount of Hollywood movie stars. William Gann, he's still popular today. I know several Gann traders. He had a really wacky theory that price was measured in time. Well, that should alert anyone to the fact it isn't going to work. Price is measured in cents, dollars. A lot of people who trade Gann, I don't know any Gann traders who have ever made any money. Just think it's a fantastic theory. It's very scientific. He has astrology in it as well. And Elliot, no Elliot Wave, of course. Elliot just didn't think he could predict the markets. He thought he could predict anything in the universe. But strangely, he never made any money trading. He never made any money at all. And he died penniless. But I think, those 3 traders in inverted commas, none of them made any money. But even today, traders want those predictive strategies. They obviously do not work, okay? So that never changes. I think, the traits of great traders never changes, sorry. And there's a few here, obviously, and many more in the book. I missed out, like Bernard Baruch, Joe Kennedy, Benjamin Graham. Huge amount of traders you can learn from in the book. It is kind of motivational and inspiring as well. I read it probably about 15 years ago. I still dip into the book today. Wonderful book in my view. And you can get it on Amazon, just $10. Right, thank you for watching this video. Take care. Have a good day.